Hello. Welcome back to the Relationship Goddess Medicine Show, where you get legit, licensed, psychologically sound miracle cures for relationship insanity and entertainment, of course. I'm Yaj, your host, and I'm thrilled to be here. You know what else you get on the show, by the way? You get sacred irreverence and divine madness. I just thought I'd let you know. So if that's what you're up for, come join us. And we're going to light our candle and say our invocation, which is quite simply, as always, I invite the company of the light. Like my mama always said. And I'm going to light my incense, which I got my incense order. I took a picture of all my incense laid out. Maybe Ron can, I don't know. I'll show you a picture of all the incense I buy when I go grocery shopping for incense. This one is patchouli, actually. Come on, baby, smell my fire. We got our light, our smells, and our sounds. We are in sacred space, because I say so. And that's how it goes. And we have today in the studio audience, you know what this always makes me think of? Monty Python fans out there? Today, live in the studio audience, an elk. No, that's an elk. Do you remember that? And her theory, my theory, which is her theory on dinosaurs. All dinosaurs are very, very thin on one end, much, much thicker in the middle, and very, very thin on the other end. That is my theory. It is mine. And the guy's like, that's your theory? Anyway. Python fans will get it. Non-Python fans might think I'm a freak. But we have in the studio today Sue Ananian, who is a healer, a master teacher, an amazing woman, incredibly talented, in touch, wonderful woman who's going to come sit with me later and share some of her mastery with us. And I'm so thrilled to have you here today, Sue. And I'm excited about that. So, what do I want to say to you guys today? So, newsflash. While I was lighting the candle, I even wanted to say this, but I wanted to wait until I was done. I had this thought the other day. It wasn't like I had no idea that I did this. It just really, really came to me that, I light candles and I burn incense and I play music all the time, and I've talked about that before on the show. But like when clients are coming, we're in the Yaj pod. This is where I see clients. I light candles and start burning the incense and putting on my, non-interruptive. Sometimes it's just Tibetan gongs on low volume in the background, like over there on the other side of the shelf. I do it like a good half an hour before the clients come. And I do it all the time. And I just do that instinctively. And it was just yesterday when I was doing it that I thought, I want to mention this on the show, that there's something about setting sacred space beforehand, not just in the moment, but like pre-setting sacred space. I'm sure you do the same thing, right? So, I'm already thinking about the clients that are coming. I'm already thinking about going from the world of the mundane into the world of the sacred, creating an ambiance. And so it's already on my mind. Like if, say, I'm going to go do some email or take a quick shower or something like that, I'll light the candles. I'll start burning some incense. Even if I know that incense stick is going to be burned out by the time the clients are here, that's fine. That's why I buy them by the grocery bag full. So that when they walk in, they feel, they smell, they hear that a setting, a tone has already been set for the healing work. And I love doing that. So I wanted to just share that with you about sacred space, that you start, before. And this is true for yourself too. If you're setting sacred space to do some work for yourself, some journaling, some writing, some work for yourself, light a candle, burn some incense, put on some music before you're really going to sit down to do your work. And then when you enter, it's like a standing ovation. It's like, it's the red carpet. You've said it for yourself. And I'm really starting to smell this delicious patchouli. Can you smell it? It's really good. Maybe the studio audience can smell it. We have more than one person in the studio audience today. We have a couple of people. Shall I say who you are, or would you rather remain anonymous?
Sure.
We also have Amber Figueroa in the studio audience today, in addition to the inimitable Ron Geffen videoing. So this is like more of a studio audience than I've ever had. I'm thrilled. Woo! Okay, so moving right along into my relationship insanity rant. As always. So the other day, I had an epiphany. And like some of the best epiphanies, it wasn't anything I didn't already know. It was just, it hit me like a gong, ton of bricks, whatever metaphor you want to use. Because I met with someone. I was out meeting with someone. I'm preparing to move into the world of motivational speaking, and I was having a business meeting with someone who knows me and knows a bit of my past and knows my my former spouse and a bit of our history. I mean, we used to teach workshops demonstrating all these tools of conscious communication, in the community. It's a small community. We were like out there, as teachers and, leaders and masters of these communication techniques. And he said something to me that wasn't shocking. It's not like I haven't heard it. It just, I went home and I was like, I just really got to get the answer to this really succinctly, which was simply, how can two people who are communication experts, masters of these techniques, how can their relationship not work, fall apart, if you want to put it like that? And, I don't think I got defensive. You'd have to ask him. But it was like, sometimes it just doesn't work, no matter how good you are at communication techniques. But, we had a lot of other stuff to talk about. But I went home and I was like, well, what's the real answer to that? Like, what is really the answer to what, boil it down. What are the, deal breakers for any relationship, whether you're communication experts or not? When is it just not going to work? Either, when I say work, I mean either last or be happy. Because it can last a long time. Have you heard the phrase from the womb to the tomb? I know it's a little morbid, but some people stay in their marriages for decades until death do us part, but it doesn't mean they were happy or enjoying the relationship. So I have the answers. Okay, so when is your relationship doomed? Look, I don't like to be negative, right? But when, no matter how good you are at communicating, no matter how good you are at conscious communication tools, when is it just not going to work? To be super, super simple, to be just super boom, boom, two reasons. A lot of things can come under the two reasons. But there's two, I got it and it came to me like that, I knew it, but I never wrote it down. Two reasons. One, there's different ways of phrasing it. I'm just going to go with my favorite. Fundamental sexual mismatch. It can also be said fundamental physical body mismatch. It can also be said fundamental energetic mismatch. energy is one of those words where it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Energy. Energy. Energy can mean a lot of things, but in my book and what I'm sharing right here, it can be an energetic mismatch, but it most likely, if it's like this relationship is just not working, you can trace that energetic mismatch that at least largely, maybe not 100%, but largely is going to be connected to a physical, body, sexual disconnect. Like, I have no desire to touch my partner. I don't want to have sex with my partner. I'm sexually shut down. I don't want to have sex, period. Well, how's that working out for your partner? Maybe they're shut down, and it's like an unconscious collusion that we're just living like this. Like I said, it doesn't mean the relationship won't last. It just means how vital, vibrant, happy is it. So a fundamental sexual mismatch, body mismatch. A friend of mine uses the term body mate. I don't want to go off. I don't take too much time on this, but like everyone's like, my soulmate, my soulmate, my soulmate. I'm looking for my soulmate. I have to find my soulmate, my soulmate, my soulmate. And he says, no, you need your body mate. And that rang like a gong in my ears when he said it. It was like really profound for me. That it's like, do you cuddle at night in bed? Do you want to touch each other? Do you hold hands? Is there a natural flow of affection? Do you like the way they smell? Do you like the way they feel? So it's not just sex, but it's the body. Is this a body mate? Is this someone whose body you want to be close to? If not, no communication tool can fix that. We can talk till we're blue in the face about our physical disconnect, but if we don't have a physical connection, talking isn't going to fix that. We can talk about, could you try this? I'd like this. I'd like more of this. And if that leads to more connection, it can help. But if it doesn't, and it's just not there, and you might be saying, well, why would those two people be together? Let me tell you something. A lot of couples are together that have a fundamental physiological body, sexual, energetic mismatch. They had other reasons for getting together. It happens. 2, this is just how I put it. Too many triggers. That's it, done, end of show, you can stop filming. So many things come under this, but it all goes under too many triggers. In the world of imago, we talk about finding your imago match, that person who's perfectly designed to bring up your childhood, wounds and, help you have learning opportunities to grow into the places of, trying to get those needs met now by a conscious adult. And we use imago dialogue to try to, but years ago I started saying, yep, I'm a certified imago relationship therapist. I use the tools, I dialogue, totally. And sometimes it's just too much of an imago match. That's how I used to say it. Too much of an imago match, meaning like, yeah, I get why I attracted this person. I get that I feel mistreated, ignored, abused, whatever, like my father did or my mother did. But it's not, we keep re-wounding each other. If it's just re-wounding, no matter how many communication tools you use and no matter how many dialogues you have, the re-wounding just keeps happening. Or the person's or one or both people are just too triggered. They're just triggered all the time by you. You could have a nose hair pointing in the wrong direction. They're triggered. They just can't get past where, how you do the dishes. It just triggers me. You just trigger me. I'm always triggered with you. It's not going to work. Or you're going to be unhappy for a really long time. Too many triggers. I have to say that I shoved under this category, but I don't really think it was too much of like an artificial shoving. Addiction, active addiction, including the dry drunk, like, the emotional, all of the leftover, residual, core, fundamental, emotional addictions, addictions to our emotional reactivity, but addiction, mental illness, and abuse. Like if there's actual, real, abuse of some kind going on in the relationship. That all comes under, in my book, too many triggers, just rewounding is going on. It's just not safe to bring out a communication tool, or we do it, but then just in the next minute, it's triggered abuse or whatever. Just too many triggers. So, fundamental sexual disconnect, sexual body energetic disconnect, too many triggers. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. So the next time, and I'm sure there will be a next time that someone asks me that question, that's how I'm going to answer them, because now it's just 100% clear to me. And it'll probably make its way into one of my, official talks. Maybe I'll do a talk about this, like an actual speech, like I'm learning how to write a speech about, how to know. This is good for like dating, entering into certain dating scenarios, or how do I know whether or not to commit, or how do I know whether or not my marriage can be saved, or, these kinds of questions that I help people deal with all the time. And again, it's not to say, okay, so the miracle cure, right? The miracle cure, dose of the day. Explore these two things. If you're in distress, if you're in crisis, if you're wondering, how can I be happy in this marriage? Can this relationship work? Is this spitting in the wind? Is this salvageable? Can we find reconnection? Some kind of struggling around that, or suffering around that. Explore these two things. And I gotta say that for a lot of couples, it's very confronting and painful and uncomfortable, and denial ain't just a river in Egypt. And especially, I think, the first one. I think a lot of couples, it's just very painful to look at, do I have a fundamental sexual mismatch with my partner? But it's not blaming, right? It's just like, that's the thing, to stop the blame game. Miracle cure, stop the blame game, and just look at, maybe we don't like the same things. Maybe I was really never attracted to them in the first place, and I never really wanted to admit that to myself. And I was attracted to other things, and I thought it could work, and I thought it would come around and come along, but the physical part never really did. Or maybe it's, all right, here's one. Maybe it's somebody's gay, and they're not admitting it to themselves. I mean, it happens more than you'd think. I've known couples. There was rage, abuse, crazy stuff going on. Turns out one of the partners was gay and wasn't admitting it to themselves. Finally, therapy, whatever, group support, admitted it. Sometimes got out of the marriage, happy, separated, divorced. Oh, they were gay. It's like sometimes that would be a fundamental sexual mismatch, I think, if one person's gay and the other person isn't. And stuff happens, man. I'm not making this up, okay? So, but it could be a number of things, but to just really take a look at that. So it's a miracle cure. Really take a look. Is there a fundamental, do I have a desire to be near this person, to hold their hand, to touch them, to kiss them on the cheek? Do I want them to put their arm around me? Do I want to go to bed with them? Or is it like, no? Well, you might want to look at that to try to figure out what's going on in your relationship. Now, it could be because there's resentment. So let's go to number 2. Too many triggers. So they're related, right? If the rewounding is going on, so you have to also look at, like, okay, what's triggering us in this relationship? What's triggering me? What's triggering them? Do we, John Gottman, I'm an Imago relationship therapist. My first loyalty is to Dr. Harville Hendricks and Dr. Helen LaKelly Hunt. But John Gottman is, has added a lot with his research. He's a research psychologist. And, he says that, couples need to have at least 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction that they have. But like really happy couples probably have 10 or more positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction. Well, guess what, folks? And I see it all the time. A lot of couples are having like the opposite, right? Like 10, 15, 20 negative interactions for every like half of 1 sort of positive interaction. Prognosis, what do I like to do? Grim. So you want to look at that. And if that's going on, that of course could be affecting the attraction, those juices flowing. But sometimes just in and of itself, there's a physiological mismatch. And it's not just because of resentment and pain. But so you want to take a look. That's the miracle cure. Wondering if your relationship is viable, if it can be renewed, revitalized. Really light a candle, burn some incense, play some music, lock the door, get out your journal, like really, get into like your truth, right? Is there a fundamental, for me, like your truth, do I feel a fundamental body disconnect with my partner? And two, is it just too hard? Too many triggers, too much pain, too much rewounding. And when you get some clarity around that, I mean, you could bring that to a therapist, you can bring that to a couples therapist, you could bring that into a dialogue, but it's going to give you some clarity on how to move forward, on next steps. That's my miracle cure. And thank you to the person who asked me that question, because now I have this super duper clarity. And now, briefly, before we invite our lovely guest on, we've come to the segment of the show for wardrobe medicine that I affectionately call the "What the hell am I wearing?" segment of the show. So I have something a little interesting for you guys today. And it was funny when I was deciding, this came in the mail yesterday. And I was like, oh, I'm wearing that on the show. And then I thought, oh, this will be perfect for Sue. So the universe, because I think you'll understand why. Voila.
Beautiful.
This just came in the mail yesterday, okay? What the hell am I wearing? I'm wearing a dress I got for, I'm not shouting anyone. I guess I could shout out Amazon. It was like $12.
Love it.
Look at this dress. You probably can't see. Check it out. Look at this. No, you gotta see this. You gotta see this. Can you see this? Can you see this? I'd like to stand, but the camera won't let me. Look at this. Come on. It said in the thing, it said, can you say no to it? It said, can you say no to it? And I said, no, I cannot say no to it. So it's got the Hamsa. Am I saying that right? Sue doesn't know. The Hamsa, which is an ancient Middle Eastern and Northern African symbol. A lot of Jewish people of the Jewish persuasion wear a Hamsa, necklace. It's considered the hand of God, and it's considered to be protection from the evil eye. I just think it looks really cool. So that's my wardrobe medicine, and I just kind of thought it went with, because it's like ancient, and because what you're going to talk about, your lineage. Sue has a lineage she's going to talk about that she's a teacher of, and it goes back to the ancient, this part of the world of Middle East and that area, and I just thought it was a pretty groovy thing to wear on the show. That's it, wardrobe medicine. Shout out to Amazon. I know I hate to say it. Amazon is not sponsoring me yet, but I googled hippie dresses. I got a card for Mother's Day. I got a surprise gift card for Mother's Day, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? An Amazon gift card. And I hadn't thought yet to put it toward the really turbocharged professional level cat brush I have to get for my long-haired cat to get his dreadlocks out, because he gets these dreadlocks every year. And I didn't think to put it toward that, because that wasn't cheap. I didn't think to put it toward my new wireless microphone set that I need for my motivational speaking career, which I could have put toward that. This was right after Mother's Day, and I wasn't thinking, and it's Mother's Day. So I'm like,
It's for you.
It's for me, not the other things. Well, the cat brush isn't really for me, but the mic. I was like, all right, let's see what they got. What do I Google? Clothing on Amazon. It's like hippie dresses. And then this came up, and it was like, can you say no to it? It was like crazy. It was like less than $15. I was like, no, I cannot say no to it. Thank you, Amazon.
Thank you, Yash.
So here I have with me Sue Ananian.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank
you. So glad to have you here. Thanks for coming. I've known Sue. Did I meet you? God, did I meet you at the little wellness fair that my ex put together in our former
It was
office?
the networking event. Holistic.
Was it Blue Horizons?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Did you hear that? It was Blue Horizons.
You were the relationship couple.
Yeah.
Power couple.
Yes, we were. This is perfect. I didn't know that. I didn't know. This is perfect. How transparent am I willing to be? I didn't know that that's how I met you. I did not remember that.
Oh my God, that was like years and years ago.
We were the couple that was out there demonstrating Imago dialogue and teaching people how to communicate. And you know what? We used dialogue all the way through deciding to get separated. And we still dialogue.
That's why
Just saying.
But that's why we use our tools, right?
Right. So, Sue, before you say all of the you were just saying you liked the Hamsa, but you didn't know it was called the Hamsa. What was it?
I didn't know it was called a Hamsa. I knew that it was a symbol, because wherever we come from, we understand symbol. Yep. Our psychology understands symbol, so it extends beyond language. And this is an ancient symbol for healing. And you have the eye of God. You have the moon.
Do I?
Yeah.
I don't even know what's on here.
The eye of Ra.
There's the eye.
Right. You have the moon, the cycles of the moon.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, there's fish.
Right, and there's fish.
Where's the cycles of the moon?
Here.
Oh.
Right? Then you have the braid that connects life together.
Oh my God. Do you see how awesome she is?
Right. So I remember, it's so funny that you're wearing that too, because I remember going someplace and there was a woman doing palm reading. And I don't know why, but I lifted my hand and I could see this on my hand.
You saw this?
Yeah.
You just saw it
Yeah.
on your hand?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, so it's almost like meeting a friend who we don't know.
Yeah.
Right? We don't consciously know, but
There's
we're
a
all
familiarity.
related. Yeah, we're all related, right?
Yeah,
Mitakiwasan, my relations. And
say that again?
Mitakiwasan.
Mitakiwasan. Is that's the Native
means
American?
It's all my relations.
In what language?
Lakota.
Mitakiwasan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
So, but we're all related.
Yeah.
So, there's sacred geometry and there's magic all around us. Yep. So, here we are, years later, right? Yep. We were, babies starting out we've started our journey, but we keep growing. Yep. Yeah. That's what I like about your dialogue so far.
You mean what I've been talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. People say dialogue. I'm like, Imago dialogue is dialogue. But so meaning like what I've been talking about, you like what I'm... So you want to tell our lovely audience who you are. When I emailed you and said, how would you like me to introduce you? These amazing, incredible things came back. I don't feel like I could do justice to it, but I could read what you wrote. You want me to read what you wrote and then you take off from there?
That would be boring.
That would be boring. Okay. So I love you.
Boring. It's just it's a list of credits to give people an idea of what I do, but I'm me. Yeah.
But who are you? So come on. But people want to hear. What's a little bit about you? Master, healer, teacher. What do you?
Person, human. I began a journey a long time ago. I was 18. I grew up Catholic. So if anybody knows Catholicism, there's certain times that you go to confession. You tell a priest what you've done wrong. Well, nobody in their right mind would tell a priest what they did wrong, right? So you lie.
It's a good start with a religion, right?
Right? Let's hit it, Would you say truth or whatever?
Prognosis grim, yeah.
No, it's truth. So I went in, I lied to my mother, I was mean to my sister. It was all true, but,
It wasn't the real stuff that you did.
What can a kid really do?
Yeah.
I mean, really, what can a kid really do? So it's just like, okay, do your time, get out, in and out. And but as I sat there talking, he was a Franciscan monk, so he was very light and earthy, and he lived life. He wasn't up there on the pedestal.
Yeah.
So, but as I was sitting talking to him, my knee started swelling.
Your knees?
My knee
started swelling.
Yes.
Your knee started swelling.
Mm-hmm. And so I kept talking because I could talk to a rock. I just keep talking, and he was a really nice guy, Father Reggie, and I just talked and talked, and we talked about life. He was really a good man, and but my knee was swelling, so I needed to get out because I was going out with friends drinking. So of course I finish up, go out drinking with my friends, come home, and I just about have to cut my pants off because my knee is the size of a cantaloupe.
Wow.
Right. Go to bed, wake up. My father takes me to the hospital because I can't lift my leg. I had to put my other foot under to lift my leg.
Wow.
It's painful and it's really swollen, and I think I'm going to hell because this came at confession, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's not a good sign. So I thought maybe I'm worse than I thought I was, you know. But I wasn't a bad kid. I really, you know, how bad can you be? Right?
I'm on the edge of my seat. I want to hear the story.
So went through, they diagnosed it as phlebitis. It wasn't phlebitis. Went to other specialists at that time because now it's both knees, both ankles, both wrists, both elbows. I'm on a disability, not working, in bed, on pain medication, Demerol, the whole bit. Very painful. So I start hitting the doctors on Park Avenue. And
Wait, is this now going on for years?
It did go on for years.
Because now you're no longer a teenager. Now you're like an adult.
Well, this continued. I was 19 at the time, but this went on for about 15 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the nobody had any results. Blood work came up negative, and they started guesstimating. So then it was diagnosed with vasculitis, which is a nondescript. Anything itis is inflammation of the vascular system, which means they don't know.
Right.
So the best thing that they could do was suggest aspirin. So I was taking 18 aspirin a day. They said,
my God.
You know, take as much aspirin as you need. It did not kill the pain. It was better than the pain medications, but you know, just take this. And so my stomach never bled out, which was a miracle. But anyway, it went on for 15 years. I had kids. I lived life. Didn't know if I was dying or whatever. And I think you would consider that what happened was a shamanic death.
What does that mean?
I needed to find out how to heal myself. And this is my path. And so it began with me. Then my father died of a nondescript, he had a really strange disorder, angioblastic lymphadenopathy, which was his immune system turning on and not turning off, and he ended up, his system killed himself. Still didn't have any answers, and so that's what I did. I started learning about energy work, and it turned out to be a lot of emotional stuff I didn't remember as a kid. It's amazing how you can put this aside and really have no memory.
The stuff that you encountered when you started investigating.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, put it aside. And so then it began a journey of how to uncover that.
So that began your journey of becoming a healer, was to heal yourself.
Yeah.
Which is so true for so many healers, therapists, a lot of holistic healers.
We're all here.
Right, to figure it out. Wow.
Yeah. So we're all here to heal ourselves. And it goes back to what you were talking about. It's like we have to uncover, you know, and I loved it when you said, you know, we have to take time, prepare, live in sacred space. It's all possible, right? But most of us are over there and over there and over there, rushing here and there and everywhere. But we have to be here, right, in this present moment, which we've forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had these experiences.
Yeah.
And it's all about healing ourselves, like you were talking about, creating that sacred space. And I searched, and I really lucked out. A friend of mine was an initiate in the Modern Mystery School. It's in the lineage of King Solomon, so it's 3,000 years old.
No, wait. Because you mentioned this to me when I sent you what I thought was an innocent, you know, email, Facebook message, whatever. Like, what credentials should I use when I introduce you? And I got back, you know, initiate in the lineage of King Solomon, and I was like, what? Like, can you explain that a little bit? Because it sounds fascinating.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
So King Solomon didn't belong just to the Jewish people.
Yeah.
He's well regarded in other cultures, other religions, and he's a son of David. And his mission was he was an amazing man. So he was more than a king, but his vision was to create a unified system of healing and teachings for the empowerment, the ascension of all of us. Because when we came on the planet, we all came together. And so even though we forget, who we are, and what life is about, but it's all of us or none of us. So we're all working together. Again, all my relations, we all came together. And so we created a unified system.
Like a healing system, a
healings,
teaching?
Healings and teachings that help us activate our potential. Because we're not here to be, to live 9 to 5.
Right.
Right? How boring.
So you've studied under like a master teacher in this particular lineage.
Yeah, the founder of the school, Gunni Gunnarsson, which is in the lineage of King Solomon, but he created a school. There's 7 mystery schools, and this one is open to the public. Not better than or less than. It's just each school has a particular mission.
And just for the audience, like, I didn't hear the term mystery school until, like, maybe I saw the movie Harry Potter.
Yes. This is like Hogwarts.
It's like Hogwarts.
It's Hogwarts.
So, just like in one sentence, like briefly, what's a mystery school? Because I'm also studying some of this. I'm studying some of this priestess stuff myself.
Yes.
And so I've now heard the term mystery school a few more times. But like, how could you just briefly define what's a mystery school?
Well, there's a structure, as above, so below, as within, so without. So there's a hierarchical structure of masters and angels and beings that come down. It's almost kind of like a corporation. Right? There's a structure. And so every master and angel, archangels, beings of light, the different elements, different beings that live with us, we each have a job to do to support the universal mission of ascension. It's like kind of like a big experiment.
But there's only, you said there's 7 mystery schools that have been delineated, deciphered, discerned, distinguished. I love how all these words start with D.
Africa, Australia, Great Britain, Japan, Romania, Tibet, North America.
Very cool. What's the one in North America?
The Modern Mystery School. But we have 45 schools around the planet now. This school, Gunni created this, and it's spread so much. There's 45 different locations we have, which is really exciting. We have a school on the Gaza Strip in Israel now.
Wow.
I know. I mean, the light needs to be there, right?
So, just as this little, because it sort of chose me. I didn't go researching for this. Like, I am studying some Celtic pagan priestess stuff. So is that's more like Great Britain or the Isles? No, that's Ireland. It's more like, what mystery school is that?
That's the Golden Dawn in Great Britain.
So it's Great Britain and the environment.
That's where the key.
It was really more like Ireland.
It's kind of where like the key is anchored.
Okay.
So all the other schools are by invitation. And this school is open to the public. So I teach the public, how to meditate. We begin with basics, right? Meditate, how to get quiet. And then there's classes, sacred geometry, how we can start utilizing the powers that are around us and within us for our room. Like sacred geometry is to create a temple of protection.
Geometry.
Yeah.
But so I'm curious, did your itis, inflammation of your inflammation, go away or diminish or in this journey of...
Well, there's a lot of things. I was searching my whole life, right? Because I was sick as a child, and I was looking for something. Food. The doctors yelled at me. Food has nothing to do with health. Right? Well, this is 35 years ago.
Right.
But I was always looking. I found somebody that taught energy work, and I started learning, and it was really, really beneficial. I was doing massage and body work, Cherokee body work, helping move the energy, because everything that we experience is in our body.
You were receiving it and also,
of course,
administering it.
Of course. So
the body work, what you were
experiencing?
Yeah.
My goal, like your goal, is to heal ourselves.
Right.
Like you're bringing a big mission to the planet. How can you do that as fast as you can, as big as you can, to change people's lives? Yeah. You're here to serve.
Right. And you have to use yourself as the guinea pig, right?
So we get all this information. When I joined the mystery school, the information was the same but different. The energy was really different. So it's not necessarily the thoughts or getting something out of a book. It's the energy behind it. Lineage is where this is over 3,000 years old, so it hasn't changed. Lineage is unchanged. So this path of progression to our whole self, to our true and authentic self, has not been changed. So you and I don't say, oh, well, I got something really good over there. let me add it, because then it's not the same. We change it, even though we're good people.
Say that again.
Lineage is an unchanged.
When you are claiming that you are part of a lineage and teaching, you don't change.
No, you follow the lineage.
Yeah, well, this is true of Buddhists and their disciples and their teachers and their masters. And people say the lineage. You pick a lineage and you stick with it. And
there's a lot out there though that has changed, particularly in the West.
People start perverting it and diluting it and distorting it and changing it. Yeah.
Because our mind thinks we know better.
Yeah. It just made me jump to like 12 steps and why in 12-step there's some wording haven't changed a lot of things because they're like, we're not changing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're keeping it just as what is it, Bill W. and Dr. Bob kept it. So it's still God as him. If you go into any 12-step meeting, and even though now we know her, goddess, it's like we're just keeping the words as it is. God as you understand God, because they don't want to change the lineage.
But God has so many names.
No, I know, but I'm saying like they haven't changed the wording in the book. They're not touching it because it's the lineage.
12 steps works for everybody because God has so many names and faces. So
this thing about lineage is really interesting. So you do all kinds of things. I get that it's not only is it hard, but why try to shove it into a box of what you do? But you do work. But you do have a private practice.
I do have a private.
You actually do have a private practice. It's for It says right here. You emailed me for 19 years.
Yes, it's changed.
Yeah.
Because I've changed.
Yeah.
But I have a private practice in Mawa.
Yeah.
And so we do everything that a person may need. Body work, to feel good, because we do sometimes just need that TLC, but also to move the blockages that hold us back. You were talking earlier about, like, why do I do stuff, the triggers and all that. The energy body is a fascinating thing, right? It's kind of like our hard drive on our computer. So we have this physical body with different systems and ways of being, right? That science can definitely document and pinpoint and MRI and picture. But we also have this energy body that's like the hard drive of our computer. Like I had these memories stored someplace, couldn't access them.
Right.
Fascinating. And so what you can do is it's energy work, working with the meridians, the chakras, the soul body, the physical body, the spirit body, the meridians, the different elements within us. Yeah. It's like defragging your computer.
So, quickly, a website, if people want to get in touch with you, an email address, a website, a Facebook. Do you want to give yourself a shout out?
Facebook is Ananian, and I'm public, so Ananian.
Ananian, like it sounds.
Yeah, it's pretty phonetic.
Is that the main way you get in touch with people, or do you want to give a website?
Website is www.theinnerpathonline.com.
Theinnerpathonline.com. I like that. Cool.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we'll finish up our little chat with Sue Ananian. I will take you out with a little song.
Okay.
So, some of the juiciest stuff gets said in the like 10 seconds when my wonderful videographer just wants to like change the angle to give you guys a little variety as our audience. So just now when the camera was not playing, Sue said something really profound, and I said, "Ooh, yeah. Can you say that when we're live?" What did you just say?
I want everybody to know that you're not broken. Too many people think that, including myself, as we're going through life, I need to do more, be more. I need to get over this. I need to do something else. And it holds us back, this perfectionism. Yeah. So I want you to know that you're not broken. Whatever's happened, focus on being perfect. You're okay as you are. Yeah, you could peel away the layers.
Not perfectionism, meaning focus on that we already are perfect, whole, and complete.
We are already, we are already whole and complete. So, and think about it. When I had this epiphany, and that's why I feel really compelled to share it, it's like, oh my God, I'm not broken. What would my life look like if I really believed that? And in 30 seconds, I had a list. Like, holy cow, I'd be smiling more. I'd be doing photography. I'd be doing my art. I would be playing and laughing. I would be meeting really good people. And I wouldn't accept the bullshit,
Yeah.
you know? So invest in yourself, get over it, but don't wait to live your life, because you are perfect.
Our next motivational speaker. That was awesome. So many people do think they're broken, and again, work in my own path of like everything's fine. It's just what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? So we're gonna take out that really cool music in the beginning and the end of the show. The dun 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 dun. How does it go? I forget how it goes. It's Darpan. It's my my beloved Darpan. If you don't know who Darpan is, there's not a lot of stuff about him on the internet. He's like really off. He's not like completely off the grid, but I think he's a shaman. He's a musician. He's in Australia. He's British, but he's my guy, man. And so I printed out the lyrics to one of his songs called "White Light Healing." I thought that would be something that would be agreeable with Sue Ananian. And I've never sang this without it playing along on the radio, on the CD player. So we're just gonna sing it. I know it. Sue doesn't. We didn't rehearse, but it's just like a prayer. It's just like a prayer. It's not about getting it perfect. And then I'll blow out the candle, and we'll see you next time. And thank you so much for joining us. Oh, and next show, I'm having Valerie Plochet come on again. She did the show when I was the first 4 episodes when I did it at a theater, and there were some technological glitches, and her work is incredible, and she's coming on to do it. And there ain't gonna be no technological glitches because we got Ron Geffen of rocklandstudio.com. Yo, it's gonna be perfect. And she wrote the Initiation opera, which is really just about self-expression for all people, but it's particularly for young people, self-esteem. She's not like an opera, she's like you and me with a heart that's huge, and she just wrote like a self-esteem opera. She's amazing. And she's going to come back, and we're going to get it right. People are always welcome to come back. My guests are always welcome to come back, unless you're mean to me. You're not welcome to come back. So, it's called White Light Healing by Darpan. We're gonna be playing for all of you. You might want to just see how it goes first before you jump in.
Thank you.
Sunlight like a million flowers down from the sky, down from the sky. White light healing. White light healing. We're gonna be singing. I'll sing the whole song if you want me to. With all of you. Moonlight on our naked bodies. I love him. Love everywhere. Love everywhere. White light healing. Feel free to sing from the studio audience. White light healing. White light healing. Bridge. As I look around me, much has to be done. Ask for forgiveness. Forgive those who did wrong. Love is the answer. Love is the path. Mother, please hear us. We pray for this world. Father, please send us the power of the light. Little off key there. White healing light. White healing light. White light healing. White light healing. light healing. We're gonna be shining like the sun, like the moon. Rainbows of a million colors coming together, coming together. White light healing. I know you want to be like playing an instrument, right? White light healing. White light healing. In the light, hanging out in the light. You gotta love Darpan, come on. In the light, in the white healing light. In the light, hanging out in the light. In the light, in the white healing light.
That was good.
Thank you, everybody. Mwah.
I did want an
Give a kiss.
instrument.
I know, an instrument's help. Give a kiss. Give us a kiss.
Thank you.